Ah, folks, gather round as we step back into those sunny afternoons of the 1950s, where the scent of charcoal smoke wafted through the air and laughter echoed from yard to yard. Picture this: a young family in their brand new suburban home, the dad firing up the grill while the kids chase fireflies as dusk settles in. Welcome to post-war America Stories, where we relive the warm, wholesome moments that made the boom years so special. Today, we're diving into the heart of suburban social life, those delightful backyard barbecues and lively block parties that brought neighbors together in a spirit of camaraderie and joy. From the sizzle of hamburgers on the grill to the shared stories under string lights, we'll explore how these gatherings captured the optimism of a nation rebuilding and thriving. So, sit back, relax, and let's journey back to those simpler times. You see, after the boys came home from the war in 1945, America was buzzing with new beginnings. The GI Bill opened doors for millions of veterans to buy homes, and suddenly, vast tracts of farmland were transforming into neat rows of ranch-style houses. Places like Levittown in New York or Park Forest in Illinois sprang up almost overnight, offering affordable living with green lawns and white picket fences. These suburbs weren't just places to live. They were communities designed for families to grow and connect. Imagine driving down a tree-lined street, every house with a spacious backyard ready for weekend fun. It was a time when the American dream felt within reach, and those backyards became the stage for everyday celebrations. Neighbors waved hello over hedges, and invitations to join a cookout were as common as the morning paper. In these new neighborhoods, folks from all walks of life, factory workers, teachers, engineers, found common ground in the simple pleasures of outdoor living. The war had taught everyone the value of peace and togetherness, and Suburbia provided the perfect backdrop. By the early 1950s, over 1 million new homes were being built each year, each one promising a slice of paradise where barbecues could flourish. And oh, the excitement of moving in. Families unpacked boxes while kids explored their new turf, already plotting games of tag or hide and seek. These suburbs fostered a sense of belonging that was truly heartwarming. Now, let's talk about turning that patch of grass into a welcoming haven. In the 1950s, homeowners took pride in their yards, often starting with a simple wooden picnic table and a few folding chairs from Sears or Montgomery Ward. Many dads built their own barbecue pits from bricks or cinder blocks, following plans from Popular Mechanics magazine. It was a rite of passage, hammering away on a Saturday morning, the radio playing big band tunes in the background. String lights draped between trees added a magical glow as evening fell, and portable radios brought the sounds of Perry Como or Patti Page right to your lawn. Lawns were mowed to perfection with push-reel mowers, and flower beds bloomed with petunias and marigolds, adding pops of color. For those with a bit more budget, aluminum lawn furniture in bright pastels became all the rage, comfortable and easy to clean after a day of play. Backyards often featured swing sets for the little ones, made of sturdy metal pipes, where children swung high while parents chatted nearby. And don't forget the hammocks. Oh, what a treat to sway gently with a glass of iced tea in hand. These spaces were extensions of the home, blurring the lines between indoors and out. Families planted vegetable gardens too, harvesting tomatoes and corn for the grill, teaching kids the joys of homegrown goodness. It was all about creating a cozy spot where friends could drop by unannounced, knowing they'd be greeted with a smile and a cold soda. The backyard was more than land. It was the heart of suburban hospitality. Ah, the barbecue itself. Now, that was the star of the show. Most folks started with a basic charcoal grill, like the popular Weber kettle that hit the market in 1952, its rounded shape perfect for even cooking. Dads donned their aprons, often emblazoned with fun slogans like "King of the Grill," and tended the coals with care, waiting for that perfect gray ash before laying on the meats. Hamburgers were a staple, ground fresh at the local butcher and patted into thick patties, seasoned simply with salt and pepper. Hot dogs sizzled alongside, their skins snapping with each turn. For variety, chicken pieces marinated in tangy sauces or pork chops brushed with barbecue sauce added flair. Side dishes came from the kitchen: potato salad made with mayonnaise and celery, coleslaw crisp and creamy, and baked beans simmering in molasses. Corn on the cob, wrapped in foil and grilled to sweetness, was a favorite among the kids. The aroma alone could draw neighbors from blocks away. Grilling was an art passed down, with tips shared over fences. Let the coals burn down low for the best flavor, one might say. Portable grills on wheels made it easy to move the party around the yard. And for dessert? S'mores, of course. Graham crackers, marshmallows toasted golden, and Hershey's chocolate melting in between. These meals weren't fancy, but they were hearty and made with love, fueling hours of conversation and laughter. Barbecues turned ordinary weekends into memorable feasts. Let's linger a bit on those recipes that made 1950s barbecues so delightful. Every homemaker had her go-to dishes, often clipped from Ladies' Home Journal or shared at PTA meetings. Take the classic hamburger: fresh beef mixed with a bit of onion and Worcestershire sauce, grilled to juicy perfection and served on soft buns from the bakery. For a twist, some added cheese slices toward the end, creating what we'd call cheeseburgers today. Potato salad varied by family. Some preferred it with hard-boiled eggs and pickles, others with a mustard tang. Coleslaw was shredded cabbage dressed in a sweet vinegar mix, sometimes with pineapple chunks for a tropical note. Deviled eggs, stuffed with yolks blended smooth with mayo and paprika, were easy finger foods. And those baked beans? Canned pork and beans, elevated with brown sugar, bacon, and a dash of ketchup, baked until bubbly. Fresh salads featured iceberg lettuce wedges drizzled with Thousand Island dressing, topped with tomato slices. Beverages kept things cool. Lemonade squeezed from real lemons, or root beer floats with vanilla ice cream foaming over the top. For adults, perhaps a cold bottle of Coca-Cola or Pabst Blue Ribbon beer from the ice chest. Desserts like watermelon slices, chilled and juicy, or homemade apple pie baked earlier in the day rounded out the meal. These recipes emphasized fresh, simple ingredients, reflecting the post-war abundance. Sharing a plate was sharing a piece of home. They brought comfort and a sense of plenty to every gathering. With bellies full, the fun really began. Backyard games were the essence of 1950s play, keeping everyone active and engaged. Kids loved sack races, hopping across the lawn in burlap bags, or three-legged races tied at the ankle with a partner. Horseshoes clanged against stakes, with dads competing for bragging rights while moms cheered from lawn chairs. Badminton sets with lightweight rackets and shuttlecocks turned yards into mini courts, and croquet mallets clicked as players navigated wickets. For quieter moments, board games like Monopoly or Scrabble came out on picnic tables. The hula hoop craze of 1958 had everyone twisting and laughing, hoops whirling around waists young and old. Water balloons provided splashy excitement on hot days, leading to impromptu squirt gun battles. As evening approached, storytelling circles formed with tales of wartime adventures or childhood antics. Charades acted out movie stars like James Dean or Audrey Hepburn brought gales of laughter. These activities built bonds, teaching sportsmanship and teamwork in the gentlest way. No fancy equipment needed, just imagination and good company. Games made the backyard a playground for the soul. Music was the soundtrack to these gatherings, drifting from portable transistor radios that became affordable in the mid-1950s. Families tuned into local stations playing hits by Elvis Presley, whose hound dog got toes tapping, or the smooth crooning of Frank Sinatra. Record players with extension cords spun 45s of doo-wop groups like the Platters, their harmonies filling the air. At block parties, someone might bring a ukulele or guitar for sing-alongs of folk tunes like "This Land Is Your Land." Dancing broke out spontaneously, the jitterbug or swing steps learned in high school, with couples twirling on the grass. For kids, records of children's songs encouraged group dances like the Hokey Pokey. The radio also broadcast baseball games, with folks gathered around listening to the crack of the bat while enjoying snacks. These sounds created an atmosphere of joy, where music bridged generations. A simple melody could turn a gathering into a celebration. It was the rhythm of community pulsing through Suburbia. Now, let's widen our view to those wonderful block parties that united entire streets. Organized by neighborhood committees, these events closed off roads with sawhorses, turning asphalt into communal space. Tables groaned under potluck contributions, casseroles, salads, and desserts from every kitchen. Grills lined the curbs, manned by volunteer cooks flipping burgers for all. Games spilled into the street, relay races, pie-eating contests, and talent shows where kids recited poems or played harmonicas. Parades of decorated bicycles added whimsy, with streamers fluttering. As night fell, bonfires and safe pits provided warmth, stories shared around the flames. These parties fostered lifelong friendships, with newcomers welcomed warmly into the fold. In suburbs like those in California or the Midwest, block parties were annual highlights, celebrating holidays or just the end of summer. They embodied the era's spirit of unity, where differences melted away over shared meals. Everyone contributed, making it a true collective joy. Block parties were Suburbia's grand social symphony. At the core of it all were the connections, families and friends bonding in ways that felt timeless. Parents discussed jobs at the plant or office, while moms swapped recipes and child-rearing tips. Kids formed packs, exploring alleys or trading baseball cards, their imaginations running wild. These gatherings provided support networks where a neighbor's help was just a fence away. Laughter rang out over jokes and anecdotes, strengthening ties that endured. In the post-war glow, there was a profound appreciation for peace, reflected in these peaceful assemblies. Conversations flowed easily, from the latest episode of I Love Lucy to plans for the next vacation. It was a time when people listened, really listened, without distractions. These moments built communities that felt like extended families. The warmth of human connection was the true fuel of suburban life. As the stars twinkled overhead, gatherings gently wound down. Leftover food was wrapped and shared, ensuring no one went home empty-handed. Kids, tuckered out from play, nodded off in parents' arms. Cleanup was a group effort, with everyone pitching in to fold chairs and douse the grill. Farewells were heartfelt, with promises of "see you next weekend" lingering in the air. The backyard returned to quiet, but the echoes of joy remained. These evenings left folks with a sense of contentment, ready to face the week ahead. In the 1950s, such simple routines nourished the spirit. A good night capped a perfect day. It was the gentle close to suburban serenity. Looking back, those backyard barbecues and block parties weren't just events. They were the fabric of a golden era. They captured the optimism of post-war America, where hard work led to leisure and community thrived in open spaces. The smells, sounds, and smiles created memories that boomers cherish to this day. First tastes of grilled corn, the thrill of a game won, the comfort of neighborly chats. These gatherings reminded us of life's simple joys, fostering values of hospitality and togetherness that endure. If these stories stirred your own recollections, we'd love to hear them in the comments below. What was your favorite 1950s backyard memory? Share it with us, perhaps a special recipe or a funny mishap at the grill. Don't forget to like this video if it brought a smile to your face, and subscribe to Post-War America Stories for more trips down memory lane. Hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload. Thanks for joining us today. Until next time, keep those nostalgic flames burning.